Now, straight away, we go straight to Ohiminteria, and we know that his hotline documentary titled Violent Shepherds will be airing tonight at 6:30. And he's ready as the story is about the activities of Fulani herdsmen operating in Ashanti Bonafo, eastern and parts of the Volta regions. And Ohiminteria is the man behind it. He's joining us live from Kumasi. Good morning to you, Ohiming.
Good morning, Roland.
And something should have prompted you to do that, because I know it's a passion for you. Fulani herdsmen and perhaps the damage they cause to farms elsewhere, not only in Ashanti but elsewhere in the country, has been a concern for many as well as all and sundry.
Yes, Roland, the issue of nomadic herdsmen and farmer clashes in the country dates back to as far as 2002. And when I went into the archives, and I was amazed to know that this issue even goes beyond this. It has been with us for the past 30 years. Governments come, governments go, but unfortunately, we are still struggling to find a lasting solution. And this issue has caused many, including deaths, loss of property, loss of livelihoods. And as we talk now, people still agitate. People still continue to struggle over the issue. So as a journalist covering the issue, especially in the Asante Achim North area, specifically Agogo area, I realize there's a lot of undercurrent issues that need to be raveled. So that is how come, as a journalist, I decided to risk my life into this terrain, which for me is very, very difficult, because you are dealing with people who are armed, people who sometimes you find difficult to understand their language, and you're also dealing with people who are so passionate. They are passionate about whatever they do. I'm talking about people who have lost their relatives and loved ones. So that is what informed my decision to investigate this whole matter, Roland.
And Neyi, thank you also. I didn't know that the two of you were... Ohiming, as far as we're concerned, we know that those issues that were looked at and the things that you have also talked about are critical to many of the farmers and the communities are concerned. But how will this documentary that you've put together also show how perhaps the local communities where these Fulani herdsmen come from and how they are received in those local communities, and how perhaps also the duty bearers or the various public officials and the entities that are expected to make sure that peace reign in the communities in which they operate really do their work well?
Roland, it's a very complex issue. Getting involved, I realize, is very, very complex. It's not something that we can say we are using a day to solve this issue, because we are talking about people's livelihood. We are talking about life. Lives are involved, and it's difficult. And this explains why for the past 30 years, we've not been able to solve this problem once and for all. Because the people that we expect to deal with the issue, they themselves are so complicit in the issue. I'm talking about the traditional leaders, the farmers, the nomadic herdsmen, and in some instances, security officials are also involved, and topmost politicians are also involved. So
a freeze in the stream there, but we'll try and break back on him in Teria, but that will be after we bring you an excerpt of his latest documentary.
The latest to be hit by the exodus is Mepamasem. The community has been attacked twice in 2 years by herdsmen. In the more recent onslaught, about 11 armed nomadic herdsmen descended on inhabitants, shooting to death 20-year-old Emmanuel Boatin, also known as Kojo, on the farm a week earlier. Victims and other residents fled to neighboring Asisieso, where the local Pentecost church building served as their camp. Even then, they had to be put under strict surveillance by a crack team from the police anti-terrorism unit from the Nkoko Divisional and Eastern Regional Commands. Similar operations were mounted at Hwehwe in an effort to arrest the perpetrators.
The Fulanis ransacked their rooms. For now, even food to eat is a problem. Once they are in here, food to eat is a problem. Two, they sold their money. So something to put into their pocket is also a problem. And for now, they don't have water. So we need to be serving them water.
Local farmers have had repeated distasteful encounters with the Normas, culminating in reprisal attacks. 4 people have been killed within a period of 4 months this year alone. 2 of them are Normas. Police are overwhelmed by the bloodshed, besides the high cost of maintaining law and order in the area.
If you have been there before, you understand the situation. Sometimes you sit in Accra, you sit in wherever, you sit and you just talk. When you go to the ground, then you understand the realities of the game. These Fulanis, I don't know, they can do so many things. They talk to these animals, and the animal, they instruct them and they take instructions. Before you realize, they are coming on you.
They are so overstretched in both funds and logistics as they buy fuel on credit. Here is Chief Superintendent James Safo-Pepra, who commands the Nkoko Division.
As security, we move in convoy. So we send a lot of people there. How they are fed, everything is on the police. And that is really costing us. And the fuel too, as I said, at times we are compelled to even go into credit. We have to, at times, credit fuel just to send men to operational grounds. And that is really costing the division a lot.
Perhaps the revelation by police suggests intensified state effort and resources are required to tackle the menace. On Wednesday, February 15, 2017, residents of Mepemasem had an opportunity to return home and pick up the pieces. This was after police satisfied itself of a normalized atmosphere. Under police escort, residents were led to their deserted homes the first time in several weeks. What was supposed to be a joyous moment, however, turned into grief. Because it was the first time Emmanuel Boateng's mother stepped foot on the soil since her son was killed by herdsmen.
I felt good escorting them as a police commander. Yes, bringing them back home. That I appreciate it. But I really felt sad when the people got to Mepemasem and some started wailing. It was so bad. And I felt very sad.
He promises intensified effort to secure returnees at home, but there is no certainty about what happens to people when they go to the farm.
Nobody won, and nobody will win. Because Kofi Asumani, 48 years, was killed on the 29th of November. Then 28th of January, one Danji, 30 years, who is a Fulani, was also killed. The following day, Kojo was also killed here. And then 2nd February, Manu Abubakari was also killed with his male organ cut off. So nobody has won and nobody will win. It's 2 against 2, and that is very bad.
And this documentary is airing live on this channel this evening. It's by Ohemin Teria. It's titled Violent Shepherds, and he'll be joining us as we wrap up the discussions. But Ohiming, where do we move forward from here? The thing is, once the nomads are always with us, it means the entry points into the country are always open for them to come. They do the assimilation with the local people, but they have to behave as they are, as nomads. It means that people's farms would always be encroached upon. How do we move to the next level and say that we should have proper streamlining in terms of when they come into the country, how they are controlled and how their activities are also monitored?
Thank you, Roland. I think this question could probably be answered and addressed by the powers that be. Talking about the executive and as well as the legislature and everyone in the country, because we are talking about how to solve this problem. The president alone can't even do this, let alone parliamentarians. And if when the parliamentarians or the legislature and the executive arm of government want to tackle this issue and the people themselves are not ready to support them, it will be difficult to solve this problem. So I believe there should be a holistic approach where everybody will be on board to solve this menace once and for all. If not, it will continue to be an albatross, and that is where many lives will continue to lose many lives. And I think as a journalist going down deep into this issue, there are a lot of issues that we need to address. And for us to get the needed peace, for us to get the needed security that we need in the country, the issue of nomadic herdsmen and farmer clashes or native clashes must be addressed now and for all.
Well, thank you very much, Ohiming Teria. We're grateful that you found time to join us this morning. It's also because Ohiming Teria's latest documentary titled Violent Shepherds will be premiering or airing today on this channel at 6:30. So make sure you make a date with us this evening, 6:30 it is, and Violent Shepherds will be live on this channel.